Welcome. What is up, Mixer? Welcome to This Week in the Mixer, episode 3, NFL Week 1 edition. Finally got our first round of matches in, and boy, was it a fun one. We had one game go down on the wire, some blowouts, and a lot of points put up. Just all around a great week of football. Glad it's back. Glad we're competing together again. Let's just get right into the matchups. First off, we had Mason against Anthony, and it was a barn burner. Mason put up high score of the week, 171. Got it started off right off the bat with Julio going for 28. On Thursday Night Football, he just lit it up, and there was more opportunity for him. I believe there was a goal line stand where they didn't have Julio in. Okay, sounds smart. Best player, one of the best receivers in the league. Let's leave him off when we're trying to put 6 on the board. Good job, Falcons offense. He ended up with 28 that night. Almost got the game-winning touchdown at the end. Just came down a little out of bounds. Kind of a bad throw by Matt Ryan, but what can you do? Breeze then lights up the scoreboard himself for 35 in that crazy Saints-Bucks game that just was not the way that many of us saw us go, or many of us thought it was going to go. We had Fitzpatrick throw for 4 and run for 1 in that game, and I believe the final score was like 47-45 to like 30 something. A lot of offense in that game. Breeze was a big part of it. They were playing catch up the whole game. He got 35 for Mason. And then also Saquon Barkley dazzled in his debut. He got 21, including one big run. I think it was 60 plus, and went in the end zone. He just made it look easy, and he looks like he's the real deal. Feel like he's going to definitely be a top 5 pick in the draft next year. Really excited to see what he can do this year. Mason's got to be stoked on him. Then we had Anthony. For Anthony's team, we had Tyreek Hill go just bananas like he always does. First touch of the ball, that's a 90-plus yard punt return for a touchdown, and he was just gone. There was nobody within 5 feet of him. The dude is just a walking, living, breathing highlight reel that is just unstoppable. Enjoy him, Anthony. That's just a taste of what you're going to get this year. I'm sure he's going to put up 5 more days at least like that. He scored 42 points, and he didn't even really touch the ball that much. The guy is just I mean, he's a freak. He is the freak, the cheetah. It's going to be fun to watch him for years to come, and for Anthony this year. Unfortunately, Matt Ryan did not do his part. He only gave Anthony 10 points. So Julio got 28. Somehow Matt Ryan only got 10. Little bit of discrepancy there. Shows what Julio means to that offense. Anthony's going to have to hope that his other players can overcome games like that for Matt Ryan. Although they just get, I think both their safeties are out for the rest of the season now. So they're going to be playing from behind a lot, so game script's going to be working in Anthony's favor. That's got to be a plus. Anthony was just at the wrong end. It seems like this game was settled on that both the Falcons Philly game and then the Saints Bucks game, because Anthony had the Saints D. They kicked ass last year. This year, well, at least game 1, not so much. -2 for the Saints D. Allowed a lot of points and just couldn't stop Fitzpatrick from doing his Fitz magic. And yeah, just a bad result for his defense. They should probably just delete themselves from the league. So with that huge win, Mason, he's at the top of the standings. Scored 171 to Anthony's 141. Anthony's the highest scoring loser of the week, so that's a tough pill to swallow in week 1. You want to get that first win under your belt. But Anthony's gonna he's got a good team. There's better weeks ahead. Congrats to Mason on getting high score for the week. Next match, we had the champ Matt versus Zach. And Matt's title defense got off to a rough start. Zach had his QBs go off, carry him both. Brady scored 23 with 3 touchdowns and just under 300 yards. And Rivers went for over 400 yards. I think he only threw for 1 TD, but scored 33 points. Could have had a lot more if Travis Benjamin knew how to catch, and if Tyrell Williams also knew how to catch. So those 2 skill position players weren't doing Rivers any favors. Zach misses out on that, on what could have been even a bigger day for Rivers. Matt, on the other hand, he had a rough day. His I believe his top pick in the draft, Fournette, went down, pulled his hamstring. I had seen some things on Twitter that I think ended up being fake news, that he tore his hamstring. Now they're just saying he pulled it. They're kind of being mum with the severity of it. Sounds like he's going to be at least a few weeks, but not for the whole season. Either way, Matt didn't get the points that he was hoping out of him, and arguably that could be the difference, because the point spread wasn't too much on this game. And similarly, on the other end, Zach is going to lose Delanie Walker. He's out for the season. A few of us saw that injury. Dislocated and broken ankle. Tough to see that to a vet like Delanie Walker. He's always there at the top of the tight end leaderboard, so that's going to be a costly loss for Zach. He's going to have to try to find somebody on waivers or make a deal, because he is done for the season. Hopefully for Delanie Walker, his career isn't threatened at all, and he'll be back out there next year. But his 2018 campaign is done for now. So we got a solid start for Zach. Mostly he was carried by his quarterbacks. His position players didn't do too much in the matchup, so he'll have to hope for more from his position players if he's going to be a true contender for the rest of the season. Matt's going to have to find ways to make his lineup work without Fournette, but he's the champ, so I'm sure he's going to find a serviceable way to do that. Although he goes down 0-1 in his title defense, losing to Zach 136 to 116. Next up, we got Danny and Jake, which was the game of the week. And it's always a roller coaster for Danny. His games, his seasons, it's never easy. Always does it the hard way. It's either crazy high points for him and it's scoregasms left and right, or he gets in these tight games, or the team just, the bottom falls out. And this would be the heart attack game. So started off with Mariota in that game that took 8 hours, the game that never ends, and left the game early with elbow problems. He re-entered for, I believe, a series, and then left and didn't come back for the game. So only getting 2 points out of your only quarterback, you're gonna have a bad time. .gif. And also, in that same game, Derrick Henry went MIA in Miami. He was outsnapped by Dion Lewis 47-20. That is concerning. That is less than ideal. If you spend that high of a draft capital on a running back and they're getting outsnapped by a teammate that much. He did have one long run called back for a bullshit holding, but the snap count is concerning, especially when you're projecting Derrick Henry. You would expect him to be more of a workhorse, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't happened yet. It's one game in the season. We'll see where it goes, but if I'm Danny, I'm tilting. Doug Baldwin also went down for Danny. I believe another player landed on his knee that wasn't bothering him in the preseason, but he had to leave the game. He's going to be out a few weeks, so that's I can't remember Danny's roster exactly, but that's a top end wide receiver that Danny's going to be without. He's already hurting at quarterback, and yeah, it's not a good combo. So Doug Baldwin didn't get any points for him either. So you got 3 players there that just didn't do their parts. 2 of them due to injury, 1 due to, I don't know, just not being ready for the game, or the coach is seeing something, game plan. It could be any number of things, but either way, in tight games, those prove to be costly, as we'll soon find out. So we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so on Jake's side, nobody really stood out. He had a few players scoring the double digits, like low end double digits. Nobody really had a big game. Kirk Cousins did put up 22 and he made it look kind of easy. So there's going to be more come from him with those wide receiver weapons, and Dalvin Cook, who we know can catch the ball and make some plays. So there's going to be bigger days ahead for Kirk Cousins. So to get 22 and kind of make it look routine is encouraging for Jake. He's definitely going to need his other players to step up their game if he's going to be a contender like he was last year. But he also had Kareem Hunt on his team, only got 4 points. And I mean, watching that game, the game script was in the Chiefs' hands pretty much the whole time. They were ahead. You would have figured they would have ran the ball a little more. I felt like Spencer Ware was getting some more carries, but looking at the rushing attempts, I think Ware only had like 4. So that game was kind of weird. It was up and down. Mahomes was just slinging it everywhere. There'll be other games where they have to rely on Kareem Hunt, but to only get 4 is hashtag concerning for Jake. But going into Monday night, Jake did have a chance. He was down. I can't remember how many points. I think it was within 10, maybe 15. But Jake was right there, and it came down to the very end. The Rams sealed it with a pick 6, crushing Danny. You could see it in the Mixer thread. Just heartbroken. Week 1 loss. You're now 0-1. That's how your 2018 campaign starts. A heartbreaking loss. It's going to be tough. Take solace. It's only week 1. Clearly you got some work to do on the waiver wire. We got the fab budget now, so my advice, just dump it everywhere. Just make that roster better. We want to see you up towards the top, narrowly missing the playoffs, because nothing makes us happier besides like seeing the same thing to happen to Matt. But either way, good luck to you, Danny, for the rest of the season, and congrats to Jake, winning 124 to 120 thanks to a last-minute garbage time defensive touchdown. Next up, we have Jeff and Sean. One thing to sum up this game, it's the make it stop, he's already dead gif. That pretty much sums it up. Sean, it wasn't even close. He just, from 10 a.m. on, I mean, this game was over, it seemed like, by 11, if that. It's just, again, it was that Saints-Bucks game. Michael Thomas got 39. Kamara got 43. Definitely think Kamara, maybe James Conner outscored him, but number 1 or number 2 running back after that game. And Michael Thomas, probably the number 1 receiver. So that's got to be nice for Sean, having both those guys on his team. That Saints duo scored 82 points on their own. That's a lot. Also, Kenny Stills for Sean is looking like the steal of the draft. He scored 27 and clearly is the number 1 wide receiver in Miami. his kind of boom bust style of play, though. We'll have to see how it holds up for the rest of the season. Either way, it looks like he could be the steal of the draft, in my opinion, even if he has 5 more weeks like that and has normal usable production. Hell of a deal, or hell of a value. I think he took him in like the 11th or 12th round, so maybe even later. But yeah, good job to Sean for seeing that talent laying around. On the bright side for Jeff, and I emphasize like the only bright side for Jeff out of all this, Mahomes looks like a freaking monster. He's probably the new Deshaun Watson. He tore it up. He had a lot of confidence, and they just diced up the Chargers defense like it wasn't even there. It's gonna be him and Tyreek Hill just riding the waves to scoring plenty of touchdowns this year. And even though I'm kind of a shame Charger fan, it'll be fun to watch what the Chiefs can do with that combo for the years to come. Mahomes scored 30, and again made it look easy. It was impressive. It was impressive. Probably the most impressive quarterback performance of the week, aside from the Fitzpatrick outlier. I don't know what you could say about that. He played out of his mind. Inexplicably for Jeff, Chris Hogan, despite being the number 1 target, should be what seemingly should be the number 1 target in New England, he only got 2 points, and I think it was a catch for like 12 yards or something. That's a rough day. You would expected a lot more out of him. I have him on a few teams, so that's gotta be concerning. Jeff will have to hope for a volume uptick, especially since he went so RB heavy in his draft. He's gonna need his wide receivers that he took later to pull through if he's gonna be competitive and stay out of the made bracket, really. Another, I guess there is one other positive for Jeff, was he had James Conner, who scored, I believe, the second highest points for a running back this week. He got 34, a lot of it in the first half. So I'm not sure if Cleveland figured out how to stop him, and other teams are gonna be able to use that in the weeks to come. That'll remain to be seen, obviously, but having that insurance policy on Lev Bell, got to give Jeff a little bit of security, and it's kind of shows that we didn't do our part. I feel like Jeff got him for a low price. If I had somebody that I would have dropped, I would have bid over $100 for Conner, just at the possibility of having we remember how D'Angelo Williams was a few years ago. Just plug and play seems to be the Steelers' back. They ride him, and I don't know if it's offensive line, if it's their play calling, if they have a knack for making these talented running backs work, but somehow it goes. And yeah, Conner looks more than capable based on week 1, so I would be focused on that if I were Jeff. And this will be a weekly thing where we check in on Mr. Irrelevant, Owen, not Luke Wilson. How did he do today? Or on Sunday? Let's see. Jeff, this can't be right. He got 0 points. I don't even think he got a target. What the hell? Damn. Whew. Okay, quick question for the mixer. If you were Jeff, how much fat money would you spend on that tight end? What's his name? Disley, he went for over 100. I mean, pretty much the same dude, right? Some random no-name guy anybody knows about. Jeff just picked the wrong guy. We would have been apeshit if he, like, did this Lee. We gave him shit for it all week, and then he goes off for 100 yards. He would have just been able to freaking flop that dick out on all of us for the rest of the season. Even if it was probably only that one game, he would have had some bragging rights. But it didn't work out. Instead, he got 0 out of Owen Wilson. So, but you made your point, and you had a good week there, bickering with us. So, congrats. Regardless, you got super Camario'd by Sean, 170 to 95, almost getting doubled up. Low score of the week. Only one way to go, up. Come back hard next week, Jeff. I want that ass. Last game, me versus Jess. Closer than I thought it was going to be in the end. Ajayi got Jess off to a great start, going for 2 touchdowns on only about 60 yards, but he scored 20 points in the first night, and gotta admit, wasn't an ideal start for our contest from my perspective, but I knew there was a lot of the week left. Obviously, wasn't too worried about it, but Jess had to be feeling good after that first night. Melvin Gordon got another 28 for her, so good production for her running backs, totaling 48 points together. One thing that surprised me about Melvin Gordon was his involvement in the passing game. He almost seemed to be the number one option, at least in the first half. They weren't going to Keenan Allen too much until the secondary backed off the receivers a little bit when the Chiefs had a bigger lead. So that's got to be encouraging for Jess as well in a PPR. If the Chargers are playing in a bunch of tight games and Melvin Gordon becomes Rivers' blankie, it's going to be a lot of cheap points, a lot of free touches, a lot of yak that just adds up. And yeah, I think Gordon, we're looking at, he could be like a top 3 back easy this year if he stays healthy. I mean, that goes without saying for anybody, but yeah, top 3, I think top 3 back easily. I mean, he might even be the number 1 back when it's all said and done, just based on everybody else's situation, the Lev Bell thing, David Johnson not having a good start. It looks like that Arizona offense is fucking terrible. Yeah, Zeke, the Cowboys look terrible, so Melvin Gordon's up there. He's got a good shot. The other on my end, on my team, Joe Mixon looked pretty damn good. He had 26 points. Let's see. Yeah, I think he had 26 points on like 17 carries. He went over 100 yards, got a few catches. Can't remember if he got a touchdown. Either way, he was a big part of the Bengals offense, more than capable of moving the pile. Looks like he's a workhorse, so I'm excited about him. He was looking like a top 5 back, which I kind of need based on how my draft strategy went. So that's encouraging. Antonio Brown had a normal day. I think he went 8 for 90 and a touchdown. That's just kind of what he does. He either goes for over 100 yards or gets a touchdown. And usually if he doesn't go over 100, he's right there. So thanks, AB. Love you, buddy. Glad you're on my team. And the game looked to be over at the start of Sunday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers went down, Jess's quarterback, and I thought I had it in the bag with her only having Amari Cooper left. And I was set to have about a 40-point lead. And then Aaron Rodgers decided to use the freaking Undertaker gif for Jess's team and the Packers offense. Just crazy man stare, comes back in, leads the team back to just rip the heart out of the Bears, and make me slightly concerned. I think he ended up with 20 or so for only playing one half of football. Pretty damn good. It's got to be at least just it probably cured some of Jess's concerns when it wasn't looking good for Aaron Rodgers at first. It looked like he might have been out a few weeks with the injury, but he's back. They're saying he's going to play next week. Either way, it wasn't enough. Came down to Monday Night Football. Just had Amari Cooper, and we all know how that's going to go. Amari Cooper's final stat line, 1 for 9 yards and a bagel. No touchdowns. 1 point, just not going to cut it. He's your wide receiver 1. Good things don't happen. I mean, I'll water bet anybody right now that Seth Roberts finishes with more fantasy points than Amari Cooper. So, line up. I'll write it down, and I'll probably get wet because that's kind of outrageous, but it would feel pretty damn good watering multiple people on that bet if it pays off. But so yeah, with Amari Cooper's performance and Matthew Stafford doing just enough to not completely kill my team. Robbie Anderson got 1 touchdown, got a touchdown on his single target for 40 some odd yards, so that was enough to give me a pretty decent win, 143 to 118. Either way, it looks like Jess has a good squad. She's gonna be in contention. She's gonna be in contention this year for a playoff spot for sure, maybe more. And yeah, right after that wraps up the week 1 matches. If we take a look at the standings, we got Mason top of the scoreboard, top of the standings, scoring 171. We got Sean right there, 170. Both of them, neither one has put their name on the dirt. Sean, I believe, was in a final 1 year. I could be wrong, but yeah, it'd be the first championship for either Mason or Sean if they can ride through this season towards the top of the leaderboard. It'd be good to see somebody new win, if it's not me, obviously. And then I'm right where I belong, 3rd place. Good luck in that spot for me. Have to pry it from my cold dead hands. Right where I want to be after week 1. Couldn't be happier. And then power gap to Zach? No. Well, Anthony lost. He scored the next amount of points, 141, but took the L, so shuffled down a little bit in the standings. Zach would be 4th. Jake would be 5th. Anthony would be 6th. Anyway, it's not important. Big gap. Jeff at the bottom. Want to emphasize that. Jeff down here. Rest of the league kind of here. And then we got me, Mason, and Sean. But Jeff's right here. Just right there. Maybe even a little off screen. We'll see where it goes, though. But yeah, every league needs adjusting, so somebody's got to do it. Looking at the division strengths, it seems like the Boats division, with 3 of the 4 highest scoring teams, seems to be the tougher of the 2. Post-draft, I believe many others, or some were saying that the Hose division was the stacked division. So really, we don't know after we draft how the teams are going to wind up or how owners have done in the past. It can all change. Even after week 1, the power structure can change. But the Boats division seems to be the tougher of the 2 right now and have the bragging rights. We'll have to monitor that as the season goes along. Taking a look at next week's matchups, we got me versus Jeff, so maybe a bye week, possibly. We'll see. I definitely won't regret saying that. Then we got Zach versus Mason. Should be a fun one. Anthony versus Sean. That's rough. Anthony took a close loss to one of the better teams, and he has to play the second best team after week 1. Keep stressing. But that's a tough matchup. Should be a good game. I'm going to call it now. Probably be the game of next week. We got Jake versus Jess and Matt versus Danny, which should be a fun one. In the rest of the sports world, we have Canelo versus Triple G. Really excited. Maybe I'll do a little breakdown on that next week. Be watching it in TJ. It's going to be fun. It's going to be madness. Mexican Independence Day down in the plaza. There's going to be fireworks, tacos, just chaos everywhere. Hopefully Canelo wins and that there are some happy fans in the streets and not sad ones. My early prediction, though, I think they're setting up for the third fight. So it's going to be the draw in the first one, and then Triple G. Pains me to say, he's probably going to win this fight. I don't think it'll go knockout. I think it'll go to points, go to decision. I think it'll be split decision going to Triple G, and then they'll come back for the third one. Triple G will hand over the top boxer role to Canelo, the younger fighter. He'll win the third one, and boxing future will be set for the next couple of years for big pay-per-view fights. Because yeah, all good things in the world are scripted, just like reality TV. And willing to take water bets on that fight as well. I'll probably even take Canelo just for shits, because I'd rather root for my heart than my brain, because that's always worked out so well for me. All right, maybe Jeff was gonna be with me to defend his draft strategy. No showed, so maybe the results of week 1 had something to do with that. We'll see. Maybe we'll get him on here, hopefully. Me and Matt might be doing a little video after this, as a matter of fact. A little supplemental. Maybe we'll do a preview of next week. What else? We'll do a weekly check-in with Mr. Irrelevant, Owen Wilson. Owen, not Luke. Wait, no, I'm messing it up. Luke, not Owen Wilson. Sorry. It's confusing. I'm still trying to figure out who this guy is. And we'll see who got hurt on Danny's team in week 2. That's it. Good luck in week 2. It was fun. Let's get it next week. See you next time.